we doing, boys?
What up?
Hello, hello.
Well, welcome to show 11. Show 11. And we actually got a sponsor for this show. This is going to be our first sponsor spot here, and it's actually somebody that we keep around here, comes to the studio and records with us, and it's Steve at Nissan Omaha went ahead and put the funds together and paid for the sponsorship on this episode. He sells cars up there, and he's taking care of a couple of friends of the show.
Steve.
Steve Rewalk?
No, Steve Stoker.
Oh, okay. There's some good Steves out there.
That sell cars? That's what I was thinking.
I thought
too.
for sure. I just feel like I just messed up the other Steve's plug, but definitely my bad. I was not paid for that.
No,
Steve at Nissan, though. Go see him.
yeah, Steve Stoker at Nissan, and we'll have his number up here and stuff in the show. But want to welcome Fonzo and Justin to the show. Justin Strawstone and Compton Ass Fonzo.
Yeah, or you can call me Tom.
So Fonzo does some work at Villains, and he's a tour manager for Smile Empty Soul.
Yeah, or Vandals. It's actually Vandals Inc.
Yes.
I'm just the front desk bitch there, is what I'll say.
But yeah, he's fun to talk to while you're waiting to get your tat done.
Yep. I can help you think of dumb shit to put on your body, because I've done that many times to myself.
You do have some silly tattoos.
No, they are stupid tattoos,
Yeah.
but they're fun.
Yeah.
But, why not? Who cares?
And then we have Justin today. He's from Nice Enough Entertainment. He puts on several festivals and events here in town, which we can plug those here in a second if you want to. He's also a tour manager for King ISO and is big in the event scene around town here. But it's with Nice Enough Entertainment.
Thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, well, thanks for coming, man. This is our first kind of a spin into the music, and I figured where to start better than somebody that manages them.
Yeah,
manages the artists and get their take on it.
Oh God,
there's a lot to it.
Yeah.
What we're talking about.
I was about to say that tour life. It's not meant for everybody. It really isn't.
I bet, dude. I can imagine it's late nights and
Nights dealing with a bunch of dumb shits.
a lot of truck stops and
Yes, yeah. I don't know if you guys stay out in hotels much, or
A lot of Airbnbs these
Really?
days. Yeah, that's kind of the move.
yeah, we do. We're in an RV. It's the three of us, so we're in an RV and we do truck stops most of the time. And
I love that.
I don't know, man. I don't know. There's some times where dealing with truckers is not the fun thing to do.
When I go out with Otis Julius, that's what we do on the last tour. We did an RV. It was only like 15 dates, but
Still,
I mean, it was kind of fun, like stepping out and just like stretching the parking lot of a big Casey's,
yeah.
But
No, we usually try to stay at like a Love's or Flying J. Not to plug those.
try to stay at the Cadillac of truck stops.
Right? I mean, those showers are so nice when you get them, but they're $18 now
For a shower?
for a shower, dude. Back when I first started touring, it was like $12. They were still giving it to you,
So
but
you just get the whole band in one shower real quick.
no, no, we don't
Save
do
some
that.
water.
Yeah, we just sit there and watch each other. Hurry up! No, we're not like that.
what you got to do is get the Planet Fitness membership.
Yeah, well,
Right.
that's what We're talking about starting to do now. On this
That's
next
what
round.
we did, man.
That's
Yeah.
that's
It was like $10 a month in free showers.
And they're
Yeah.
everywhere.
Like,
They are everywhere.
We and plus a lot of them are 24 hours.
Yeah.
So and that's a big thing too, because when you're on tour, you don't like the bathrooms usually in the RVs. You don't use much,
No.
so it's like no blast. You don't go in there, so you need a toilet nearby because sometimes only thing you could eat is Wendy's. Yeah, you have to. And like
Yeah.
3 a.m. comes around and it's kicking its way out your intestines. Yeah,
Oh,
you
yeah.
need to be close to a toilet.
No, I drive for a living when I'm not
Yeah.
trying to do this, and I will spend a couple days on the road, and I'm screwed up for a couple days.
Oh, yeah,
it
dude.
sucks.
Food out there is sparse, like good food on the road. And when you find it, it's good to have. I always save it on a map.
Dude, Chick-fil-A is one of my go-tos. Like,
Right?
Yeah, it just sits well. It's like you feel like you ate something real. Like,
And that frosted lemonade,
Yeah.
though.
and the waffle fries are
Oh,
also
God.
good for you, I'm sure.
something in there is good for you, right? Yeah.
So kind of what got you guys started in music in general, not just specifically what you're doing, but just what fed you that love?
You go ahead. But
So I started out by being a fan of local music. I used to go to rap battles. Shout out to the CBA. Fonzo and Danny are the ones that made that. And then I joined up with a group. And I mean, at that point in my life, I was just partying a lot. And so that was like a way to meet new people. And then when I started taking it a little more serious, I would walk into rooms and I'd be like, why is that motherfucker in charge? Or, I'd go and we'd meet up with other artists. I'd be like, well, they're the fakest people in the world, right? And everyone's just like, I don't know. They needed a me. They needed someone to give a fuck. So I started booking local shows and trying to. My whole platform that I ran on was fuck pay to play. Quit getting in artist pockets. Quit doing the same fucking acts that have been around for fucking, ever. Start giving some of the young people some shine, rather than just trying to make them part of your crew and fucking, dude, it was a lot of Omaha rappers were on some weird shit and they say I'm a gatekeeper now. They were gatekeeping any chance of this city having success. So I was just planning on doing a few shows and then hopping out of it, and it didn't happen like that. I think I'm like 2,000 deep now after 5 years, and I love it. But now I, that brought me to, reconnecting with King ISO, doing shows with him just in the area, which turned into me tour managing for him and now working as an agent for him as well too. So I kind of wear like 6 hats, but
He's a little bit of a hero here,
yeah,
for the show, and we kind of talked about that a little bit,
yeah,
in the beginning, and yeah, so I love that you're his guy, and
yeah. He's as advertised, man. He's a really, really amazing and underrated human and leader, and
he's a very genuine person.
Yeah,
like you could tell talking to him, he's a genuine person.
I could sit here and talk about King ISO all day. We do a lot of other things, and that's another thing too. He's not threatened by that at all. To where a lot of people, it's like, hey, I need you're my manager. You need to, it's like focus on me every day. He loves. I'll post a show and he'll be like, "You got Trey the Truth, bro? What the hell? Like, I'm in there, bro. Like, he's excited that I make moves outside of what he's doing, because if we all build our own brands and work hard while still, taking care of each other and making sure we're brand protection and care about each other's moves, we can just do bigger things.
As long as your team's successful, so are you.
Yeah,
That's
there's a difference between being self-efficient versus being a me monster. And that's a term we use a lot around our camp and Project Be Well, is just don't be a me monster. Think about everyone. It's easy to make the things that you need and the things that you want to do the main focus, but that's just not how it works. And also there ain't no shame in playing a role. And I love it, man. I love getting to be the guy to handle all the boring shit. Now, you understand what this is like, being on the road, also being the annoying guy every fucking day, to have to remind of where we need to be, what we need to do.
But be like, all right, this is time, bus call, we're leaving this time. Nobody can do shit. Sorry, guys. We got to roll. We got a 12-hour drive ahead.
That's where the gray in my beard comes from. It's like I know you guys already know this, but 10 a.m. So let's be out here.
And we also have to do sound check at this time. Be ready, guys.
Yep.
So, can you tell us a little bit about Be Well?
Project Be Well. So Project Be Well is very, very important to King ISO and the people around him, and it's just his way of wanting to. And the reason the rollout's been so slow is because we want it to be right. But pretty much he's going to be doing some executive producing. So he makes all his own beats. So on all his albums, he makes all the beats that he raps on. Well, he's going to start providing that service to artists that he's going to have attached to Project Be Well as well. So it's not just a distribution service. He's really putting I hate to say people on his back, but he's really going to put a part of himself into these artists, rather than just, because we can all talk business and be like, well, that's what everyone does, a distribution deal from a distribution deal. Is Project Be Well part of Strange? It's all associated, but what he's doing with his brand and the way he wants to connect with people is a lot different in the way that he wants to truly be involved. So that information is going to be coming soon, but we just want to be a platform, a voice for mental health, not just for men, but obviously coming from a man that had and overcame so many mental health issues, and it's never cured, but he's come a long way and built himself up to this. So now he just wants to help other people out and be a voice for that. So Project Be Well is going to be something I think the Midwest is going to be very, very proud of. So
My introduction to ISO was Hypocrite, and I've been hooked ever since. My 7-year-old walks around the house singing "I'm Okay,"
same,
Right.
same,
and I love that. So
yeah. It's
Wrong, right, or different. My son, 13 years old, like last week, pulling up his Apple iPhone. He's like, what do you think I listened to the most in 2023? I'm like, I don't know. He's like, ISO. He's like, how many minutes? He's like, 3,800. I'm like,
wow.
Yeah.
that's
but like, he gets it. I
It's-
mean, 13 is 13.
something you
That's
can
so
relate to.
cool. Because when we first, he's been doing. That's one thing I'm always really careful of. Is like I never want to be that guy that's like trying to take credit for what this man's done. What part of what he's gone through as a human is what
Yeah.
puts him in the position he's in today to be that voice. And I wasn't there for all that, but I was there to see him turn this into a brand that to where in Omaha, that first release show, we did do 300 people, but when we were touring and going and hitting Kearney and Sioux Falls and Des Moines, I mean, we were pulling up to Whiskey Dicks in Sioux City and doing 40 people. Like I was there to see it go from that to where now when we go out, we average over 250 people a show, and that's amazing. And I remember being in cities like Indianapolis when it was first starting to catch on, and we're always protective of ourselves. We got families, we want to come home, right? When we're in the strange cities, and I'd be like, "Hey, bro, like, what's that dude lingering over there?" And I'd be like, it's funny that I have to play this role since ISO can squash me easy. But I gotta, buff up and walk. I was like, "Hey, everything good?" And they're like, "Is that fucking King ISO?" And I'm like, "It's a fan." You know what I mean? Like, I remember the first couple times that happened where it's like, this is spreading so much bigger than the Midwest, bigger than Omaha, bigger than anything, and, now it's, I used to have to, people were like, "What do you do?" I was like, "Well, have you ever heard of Tech Nine and Strange Music?" That's how I would, and they'd be like, "Yeah." And then I'd be like, "Okay, well, King ISO's the next Tech Nine, or King ISO's the number 2 on that label." And I work for him, so I'm a dickhead. So I'd be getting it and it ain't close. You know what I mean? There's Tech Nine, there's King ISO. Shout out to all the other dudes on the label. I have a lot of friends over there. They're fucking talented. Jerry, Joey, you guys are fucking killers. I just gotta talk my shit a little bit, but yeah. So and now it's like I can, whether it's somebody age 13 to like our age as grown men,
Yeah.
I can just be like, "Hey, who do you work for?" "Oh, I'm King ISO's tour manager." And 80% of the time, they're like, "Wow, like that dude's fucking." Whether they're following his fitness journey, his mental health journey, whether they're a fan of Strange, whether they're a fan of Face Off, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
We were staying at a hotel, and I seen there's a team full of like 12-year-old baseball players right after, like 2 months after that song was released. They seen King ISO. They're following our van. It was the coolest shit ever. I'm like, yes.
It's like an ice cream
But
truck.
it shows you how the message and the music just penetrates, generations.
Oh,
yeah.
and then
30
what's
years right
cool
there.
is, and then
That's
those
right.
kids, they get introduced by Face Off, and then they listen to a song like "I'm Okay," and they start realizing that those thoughts and those times where they feel sad or alone, that other people feel those. Even somebody is strong,
Yep.
whether and is lyrically talented and gifted, to be able to do it. He does shows how smart he is to be able to see that you can go from having those sad days, those bad times, and also still be the superhero that he is. So it's cool to see the balance on that.
Powerful message.
Yeah.
Just at its core.
No, dude gave me first time I seen him was in person. I hadn't heard him on anything else before, and it was at Ralston Arena, and it blew me away. I had the chills, and I had to hear more when I left there.
Yeah.
It was great.
What I love that you're kind of a newish fan, because the next time I talk to you, I want you to go and listen to Insanity Plea and Autophobia and dive into some of his older tracks, and you're gonna really have a good time.
And
Because
I like a storyteller and somebody that's actually, I don't care if you got money and all that. Like I'm trying to hear the story in your music, and and the message, and like I'm not listening to the music just for your. I want something.
dude, what's really cool. So I was at a video shoot last night to where he got, he'll do features. He works with budgets. He'll work with people for free. Obviously, that that makes sense at his level. But he has to charge for features. For like Omaha artists, he doesn't charge a whole lot. But the reason I'm bringing that up is I was sitting there at this video shoot for this feature. First of all, he broke a tooth yesterday, was getting emergency like mouth surgery, still made it to this video shoot, and I'm listening to the words that he put on this other person's track. I was like, man, there's no phoning it in with this guy ever. Like it was like he was talking. First of all, he was saying some shit that I can't believe he was saying on a track with that wasn't his own, because he was really really it just impressed me once again. I feel like every time I'm around him, to see him, he's up there with this guy who's local, and he's acting like it's his own video shoot.
Yeah.
He
Like
puts his heart in everything.
yeah, and I don't know why I'm surprised, because I've never seen him not do that. But I'm just like, once again, I'm in the background of this video shoot, and I'm just proud as fuck. And he don't need me to be proud of him, but when I see shit like that, I'm just like, my heart just swells.
But it's just to see where he started to where he's become.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
man, and to still be overcoming things himself, and his whole album Ildren is explaining and talking about what he went through, but also the comparison to his own kids are going through, therapy and dealing with some of the same things that he went with, and the fact that he's here to tell that story is just, it's amazing. Because I mean, it would be really easy to run with a different message at this point. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And he's staying true to who he is, and I'm sure we're still gonna get some shit talking party ISO at some point, but this is I'm proud to even be here talking about it.
Yeah, I don't know. If you actually know the guy, I don't think you can talk shit on him.
No.
Seriously, because he's such a genuine nice dude. It's insane. Man.
It's
When
interesting.
when y'all get to a point where you're rolling out Be Well heavy,
Mhm.
come back and we'll talk about it.
Absolutely, man. And I would love to see if I can get him in here too. I think that's a possibility.
When I
So-
got the chills. When I started this, man, it's kind of been about a mental health, like getting the guys and talking to your people, trying to.
yeah,
Man, I was in a dark place 6-7 years ago. This studio actually got him out of his head,
love that.
and so it's already kind of served its purpose, and at this point, it's just about trying to get the message out to maybe help somebody avoid a pitfall that we have ran into, with our children, with just life. And, when we started this, it was, man, one day after hearing him, it was one day I would love to be able to talk to that dude. And just because of the message was so powerful to me, it's not something I had heard in hip hop ever.
Right.
And it blew me away. And it was strong for me.
Man, I love that so much. It's, I can tell that how much you've been affected, even in this short time, by his music, and that's fucking incredible. And I love that you guys are doing this and becoming a platform for that too, because it's important to have these outlets. It's important to besides the grind of taking care of the kids and the family,
Every day,
the bills, and to have a voice outside of that. Now those roles are very important, but
It's important to have something outside of that
yeah,
as well, I think.
and you guys are going to provide a chance for people to feel heard, and that's one of the biggest gifts you can give people. So, man, I'm excited for you guys.
I think one of the biggest premises that underlying premises of the show is, that you didn't mention was like, everyday life, just be real. Just come and talk about real life shit
Yeah.
and don't sugarcoat it. It's just, it's what it is.
I definitely throw my own stink out there, and
Right?
my brother's like, I don't know how you do that sometimes, and I'm like what if nothing can be changed. I've already lived that,
Right.
like, and if I can help one or two people, sidestep it. They're like, hey, I kind of remember a story about this, and I'm maybe going to choose this road. Then great.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just saving somebody one struggle.
It did its purpose.
Yeah.
It did its purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody goes through shit. You just got to put it out there.
Yeah.
Some people don't like to. But,
Yeah.
it's good too.
We didn't talk about mental health growing up. Like,
Yeah,
you know what I
that
mean?
wasn't
Like,
a thing.
That was like, because my mom was working 70 hours a week. She didn't have time for it. You don't either. Fucking make sure that house is clean,
Yeah,
treat each
yeah.
other right.
I mean,
And
I'm 42 years old, but it was like politics, religion, and mental health. Like those are three things you don't bring up to your neighbors in public, school.
Yeah.
just be okay.
And look where we are.
Yeah.
Right? Look where we are today.
Yeah.
I did the I'm okay, and then I added a little broken to it. The broken's kind of fading.
I love
You know
that.
what I mean? And
That's
yeah.
fire.
and
I
it
love that.
and it was part of his I'm okay that inspired that shit.
Dude,
I was
I
in
love
Texas,
that.
and my truck had broke down, and we were kind of stranded. But we were the Airbnb. There was within a mile a tattoo shop,
Right.
and I had to wait. Trip was pretty much crashed because I was waiting on a part, and it was
Right.
going to be through a couple days. So I was like, I'm going to go get a tattoo.
Yeah.
So I went down and
Love
hammered
that.
it out.
That's fire. That's a really dope concept. I like it.
And I got to hit a little gray in the BR and the EN just to make it look a little less
No, I love it how it is.
choppy, but I love it. So just trying to save somebody's, not necessarily life, but I mean, even if we can just save a day, you know what I mean? An extra laugh or it's hearing my message about with last show, we were talking about call your people you ain't talked to in a minute. And, just that phone call could really save them another day, and hopefully somebody else picks up the ball the next day, and
It's interesting. I when I first started going out of town, and like when I first started doing this whole live music thing, I felt like I was kind of figuring out who I was. I was learning how, I'm not a religious guy. I've been a dick a lot of my life, and I was just like, I just want to treat people decent. I just want to, at bare minimum, just give everybody a chance, just like I wasn't given chances with people. And when I started going out of town and meeting these artists, and I realized that these opportunities I was bringing it was like their best day. You know what I mean? Like it was exciting for us to come in town, for them to open for ISO, or if I was bringing something else, and it built these friendships. And then as I started getting busier, and the work got more serious, it looks better. The optics was looking good. Sometimes I'd be stressed out of my board, and I'd be walking into Des Moines and acting stressed, being a dick, and then here's a friend that I haven't seen in 4 months, and they're getting to open for King ISO or whoever I'm bringing. They're happy to see me, and I'm there acting like this is a fucking chore. So I had to really slow down and figure that out, because I want just like you, where you want to be a voice and give people that encouragement. That's what I want to do in person. Like when I'm out there physically touching people, I want to give them a version of me that helps them be better and feel good about what they're doing. And it's a taxing thing. Sometimes you have to really reset but it's important.
Plus, when you're out on the road and you go in when you start your day stressful,
Yeah.
it just makes every little thing another bump in the day. And you're just like, I don't want to fucking deal with this right now. And then you get pissed, and it just snowballs into something worse. If what we try to do is always just make it every day as easy as it can be. No matter what it is, even if times are running late, whatever. We'll get out of there. It'll happen eventually.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You can't let the small things get to you. That's the same with life in general.
And I'm sure it's the same with you when you run across people you work with at venues. It's like I've had people like, "What's wrong, dude?" And that's the worst thing to be asked.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Do you really want to know?
When you think you're happy to be, I thought I was portraying a guy that's happy to be here. Fucking, and it's like, fuck, I'm great. How are you? Fucking, what do you mean?
Usually, I just use the excuse I fucking ripped my vape pen. Leave me alone.
Yeah, I just trying to find a way to reset has been a big thing for me.
Yeah.
And there's been 2 times that this has been stressful for me. And I'm in those times, it was just issues with video loading, and it was something that I couldn't control. And I'm going home stressed about it. Dude, this is something that's fun for me.
Right.
And why stress over
Why
something you
am I-
cannot
yeah.
control? There's no control over it. So what's the point? No matter what you do, you're not going to change the outcome.
It took
So
me
what's the
40
matter?
years to figure that out.
Yeah,
but I'm just glad I kind of started to.
It happened twice, and I haven't let myself fall into that again.
No, I know.
There's a lot that goes on in this, so give yourself some grace. Like I did during COVID. I did 140 straw talks that were very similar, but
Nice.
virtual. And man, anything that can go wrong will when it comes to audio, video. So
Yeah, the internet, you can't trust it.
Yeah,
Before this, I was a trucker.
yeah,
I drove a semi. I don't have any. I'm not even good with computers.
right.
I get it. He's done a lot of the stuff I can't figure out or Google or YouTube how to do. He's pulled through for me. I'm not. This was all
But you're right.
hopes and dreams and plugging things in, and I got a box full of wires that didn't work. You know what I mean?
It's got about $768 in USB-Cs.
I get it, man. It's important though, man. So
Well, I knew I wanted to do it on my own. I wasn't going to let anybody. Oh, I helped Matt, or I gave him that, or I didn't. I got a buddy that's a podcaster, and he does it full time, and I mean I didn't ask him what he used about nothing,
Really?
and I was running and recording before I said, "Hey, do you have something you use, to make your clips a little easier or better, and that's where it started, and we work well together, but I wasn't going to come in having anybody say, yeah, I did that for him.
I get that. I get that.
So it was a couple months of plugging. Does this work? Are we getting it?
Figuring shit out.
Yeah. So I mean, we still got a couple things we haven't ironed out, but we're getting there.
I'll never forget like when my wife would do my interviews with us, and like we would be hearing on the other end, so it just turned into people like on mute seeing me and my wife fight.
That's hilarious.
It's fine. You just it's fine.
No, keep talking.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
No.
Kayla. Shout out to Kayla.
That reminds me. Last week I was watching a super regional baseball game on YouTube because whatever, I'm cheap. I don't have ESPN2 or whatever it is.
Dude, I'm on meth stream sometime. All right. So.
And the game ended, and the stream goes to an Indian gentleman and his like 4-year-old kid, like in their room. The kid's like sitting there on the couch eating. I'm like, what are we doing, man? What are we doing?
That's amazing.
I appreciate you streaming the game for me. By the way.
Right.
So I watched for another hour. No. They seem to have a good relationship.
So Fonzo, what got you into the music? Like, what was your
Into the music scene? Well, I mean, I first started touring with a band. Well, I actually, first thing was my buddy was the guitarist of this band, A Symbiont. I'm DJ, or it's what, DJ Maddox now, Pat? Yep. He first got me into it by doing a bunch of working with his band, just going out on doing road shows with him. And then doing the other bands that we did shows with, they ended up talking to me, being like, yo, we need a road guy. Can you go out with us? And so I went out with Sidewise after that. We did a bunch of big tours. Like we did where was it? The Godsmack tour. We did a Seven Dust tour. So that was, pretty fun. And then Sidewise hasn't been doing anything for a while. It's the band that I'm with now, Smile, hit me up. And they needed a tour manager and guitar tech. I was available, so I started going with them for the past like 8 years now. I think I've been with them.
It seems like it's been a minute.
Yeah. I've been doing. We have an awesome booking agent.
I enjoy watching your snap from
Oh,
that.
I think we are booking some dates with you through Metro.
Really?
Coming up soon. Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
We are going out with Head PE
Yeah, I see.
on the next run.
Nice.
So yeah, we'll be out for a month with Head PE.
That's fun.
Doing their direct support. But yeah, it's been awesome touring with those guys and doing that because I've met so many bands that I've watched as a kid, and now I just know the guys. Like we bullshit with each other, send each other stupid memes on Instagram and shit like that. It's weird,
It's awesome weird.
Yeah, it's just it's nuts to have those friends now.
How did you break into it? Was it like connections within just the music industry
Well,
locally?
actually, I used to be on 89.7 The River. I went to school for radio back in the day,
Gotcha.
and that's like I'd always wanted to do radio as a kid, and I didn't end up doing that because there's no money in that,
Unfortunately, it died
Yeah.
out like 40 years ago.
And I ended up meeting a bunch of cool people though through the river. Like that's how I met Sean for the band that I work with now.
Gotcha.
He played a bunch of shows at the Ranch Bowl back in the day. I don't know if you ever remember that
Yeah,
venue.
absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
77.
yeah, that was one of the best venues ever. The bowling alley had
Oh, yeah.
4 venues in it,
Yeah.
and it had a radio station.
No, that place was awesome.
Yeah.
Mr. Markle owned that place.
Yeah, it had it also had a recording studio in it. I think.
Did it?
Yeah, the band Goldfinger recorded an album in there. once.
True.
Yeah, but I started at the river, and so like I got to know a bunch of bands that way too. And I started working with Suburban Noise back then, and it just got me into the music scene doing that, starting to tour, and it was fun, going to shows that way. But yeah,
I bet.
it's fun now.
Backstage at everything. And
Right. Yeah. Now I just know all the guys. Like I said, it's cool to go and have friends come into town and just be like, "Yeah, what are you doing?" I'll guess I'm going to see Mudvayne this week or some shit. You know?
Yeah. Got the ends.
Yeah.
I love that too.
It's a fun gig.
I bet. So, craziest city for a show you've been to?
Honestly, we are not a crazy group at all right now. For like with Smile, dude, we literally either what we'll do is it's like a routine for us anymore. You know, we don't even have. We'll talk to some friends there. It's usually the crowd. It's not as big as it used to be. They're not
Alright.
the number one on the radio like they were, but they still have a huge following.
Yeah.
But the crowds were usually pretty like older group guys like us. So it's never.
They're not exactly
Yeah,
jumping
they're
around.
like 11 o'clock. It's time to go home.
Yeah.
All right, let's do this.
Sadly, I know
Yeah.
that feeling.
Yeah,
I was in bed at 8 o'clock last night.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like
Getting old.
that's the fan base we have. So it's never really a crazy show. I mean, we have crazy times to where just experiences dealing with shit on the road. We've had where you have like things break down and you can't fix it. You know, we've had one time we were playing at the Whiskey in Hollywood, right up there on Sunset.
Okay.
And we had our trailer. We were trying to pull into the back of the Whiskey because they were going to let us park back there. And we tried pulling back there, and we had a dual axle trailer, and one of the axles just like popped up. And it was Saturday night in downtown LA, and we're like, how in the hell are we going to fix this?
Yeah.
And our thought process back then, though, was, all right, so we need to think about this. What are we going to do? We're parked right there on Sunset. And we're like, what are we going to do? So we're like, let's just jump inside the Sprinter quick and smoke a blunt. So we're sitting in there smoking a blunt, thinking about it, and I'm like, what if we take the jack and put it on the little spring and see if we can pop it back up? And we're like, why not? You know, let's try this. And so right there on Sunset, I'm sitting there jacking this thing, you know, like jacking the jack up into the spring, and all of a sudden you see it like bend, and boom, the other axle just pops down, and we just all go fucking nuts. Like we're just going ape shit. Like I just fixed this thing, and so we're all like, yeah, we fixed it. And it's like, what should we do? Let's smoke a blunt. So we went like back into the van and celebrated. I look over and I see some chick in like a Lexus next to us, just like, yeah. Fucking hilarious.
That's awesome. You ever had like a best place for a show,
Honestly, like
or even a best show you've been to?
the best show. Well, I have so many shows. Like the best show I've probably ever been to is a Nine Inch Nails show. Like 9 Inch Nails, those guys put on one of the best shows. It's insane. It's always cutting edge how they do their sets, how they do their backgrounds, their backdrops. Everything's always nuts, and it's fucking awesome to see that. But like best shows usually involve like food to me. What's in that area that I can
Best
eat?
catered.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, I got lobster today?
You guys ever do Wildwood, Iowa City?
Iowa City. Usually we're like downtown at the Gates. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Iowa City Wildwood is so owned by the same place, kind of like 1% owns multiple venues, but they have the best fucking barbecue.
Really?
Yeah, dude. I don't even
Dude.
look at ticket counts when I'm excited to go there. I was like, I know I'm gonna get some of that
getting
fucking
fed
cornbread. Like
That's how we are in Austin, bro. We're like, we go to Terry Black's every time. That has the best barbecue. We'll make sure and get to the venue early. We'll tell the promoter, we're like, yo, bro, we're gonna just park the RV there. We're leaving for a few hours. Don't mind us, but we're just gonna go get this barbecue and come back.
on the
And-
last tour, ISO was like, should we be writing this shit down? And I think a few was like at least acting like we were making a note on our phone. I didn't really think like
As soon as we're done with this, remind me to show you. I have a map on the map on my phone.
Uh-huh.
It's literally a bunch of little hearts of just restaurants.
Oh, nice.
Everything to like waffle houses, like our favorite Waffle House, to like don't go. Or we also have places we don't like don't go to the Sheets. Well, Sheets is a gas station for out in the mid-eastern area.
So why wouldn't you go to a gas station like crackheads or?
It's usually filled with crackheads, and the food is god awful.
Okay.
And that's another thing too. On the road, we end up eating a lot of road food. So it's like a lot of Wawa, a lot of Sheets. You find a Buc-ee's, and you just go bonkers. Like that's awesome to find a Buc-ee's because
I spend a couple $100 every time I'm fucking in there. Getting
Exactly.
Shirts
And
fucking-
you always have to take a shit there. Always.
I bought my family matching 4th of July shirts from Buc-ee's on this last tour for this 4th of July. So that's income.
It's like $168 for I don't
Dude.
know how many kids you got.
And I was like, this tour is
Keep
not
this.
doing well enough for me to do this. But all right.
Keep that.
like-
Look down here.
oh, nice, dude. That's amazing. I bought some socks too that didn't fit. I was pretty disappointed about that. Like, everyone gets a shirt, Dad gets some socks.
That's
I
funny.
mean, you could use the sock for other things, I guess.
That's
We've all learned that when
That's
we were
gonna be
younger,
a
right,
button.
boys?
Time to myself.
So what about you, Justin? You have a favorite place for a show or wildest show?
That's a tough question without making people mad.
I
You
suppose.
know,
Yeah, we don't want that.
I got a question.
I love going to Denver. Denver and King ISO, those shows go fucking nuts.
All
man.
right.
But Omaha King ISO shows go crazy. The craziest show I ever did in Omaha, I had Doobie and Caskey. Doobie's an artist I work with a lot. He's going to be headlining my festival coming up, Four Winds. But and Caskey's also big too. So together it was kind of like this, like it's one of those. Usually when you're about to like get like I have this tour booked for a while. Usually when you get a call from the agent like, hey man, a couple things changed. I need to talk to you. It's never fucking good. So I am like, oh fuck, what's going on? They're like, oh yeah, we added Caskey, and I'm like, well, what's that gonna cost me? They're like, no, same price. And I'm like, look, I have a room full of no one. I'm fucking giving high fives and shit. I'm like, well, I was like, all right, I can make room for this guy who's going to add 200 tickets a show. Yeah, we can. Again, I don't know why their agent was fired. You know?
Right?
We were talking earlier to go call back to that, but so at that show, so it was like almost Friday. It was like Omaha on a Friday night too, and I had like 10 of these dates. And the ticket sales was like $450, and the doors were popping off, and it was crazy. And like, not in a bad way, like everyone's behaving, but there's a lot of young people there. And like, one of my best friends is Dave Campbell at the waiting room, and he's way more strict than me. Like he has to be. That's his job, is to make sure things are. You know, he's got to be the hard ass to make sure things are done safely and quickly and the right way.
By the book.
Yeah, and I've learned a lot from that man. But on a show like this, like I can't make eye contact with him. You know what I mean? Like I'm avoiding him. I'm just trying to take care of it as much as I can without him. Well, Caskey's on stage, and he throws a water bottle, which happens at fucking rap shows. It gets caught on top of the projector, and it's just draining down the projector. And the sound person immediately tells the owner, texts him. So Dave comes, finds me, come to the back with me. Mark wants to talk to me, the owner, and I'm on the phone. I was like, "Hey, Mark, like that projector's not on. As long as we don't, we'll get up there on a ladder afterwards." I was like, "We won't put any power to it. It'll be fine. It's running off of it. Stupid thing to happen. I'm sorry. The show's killing it though. Like your bar's killing it. Let's, And I smooth him over, and I get off the phone. And he's like, "How's he? Is he cool?" And I'm like, "I think we're good, bro." Immediately after I said that, somebody barges in from the concert area and says, "Some guy just lit his shirt on fire." And I'm just like, I look at Dave and I'm like, I'm so sorry. Like at this point, like I don't like, do we call him back? Do I resign right now? Like I don't even know what the fuck to do. And Caskey said, someone like he said, if you don't have a lighter, fucking light a shirt on fire. And some guy fucking had a sleeve of a shirt on fire, spinning in the air, full of like ass to butt, like
Only in Omaha, right?
Yeah, and I'm like, hey, look, no one got hurt on that, but I'm just like, at that moment, I'm just like, okay, like fucking, so that was my wildest moment. But also, I think we talked about Jelly Roll earlier. I booked him in Lincoln in 2021 at the Royal Grove. It was an expensive show. I thought, to me, that was a big show. When they asked me to do it, I was like, sure, I'll partner with you. As the venue asking me, the Royal Grove, kind of was busy doing other shit, and this show just started selling like crazy. It fucking sold out. I got to hang out with Jelly Roll all day, and like after that, I didn't realize I would never be able to touch this man again.
Right.
You know what I mean? I didn't realize he was slumming because, like, I mean, that was like he was already taken off, but that was like, I mean, he was in arenas like the next time he was doing live shows.
Yeah.
He's hanging out with me at the fucking Dunko venue, Royal Grove, walking around being a jackass. You know, and
Dude, that's how I felt when I met him too.
Yeah,
it's just like holy shit.
I didn't even I knew I was around someone really great. I knew he was special. You know what I mean? I was excited, but it's crazy what hard work and putting yourself in position can do. So I'm not going to be that guy to act like I know Jelly Roll. No shout out to Jelly Roll.
First time I heard "Save Me," I was like drunk by a fire in front of my house. Oh, it was sad, dude.
I never cried.
It was
so
sad.
We are the demographic. Literally, there's someone in a fucking unmarked car nearby. Like, it's okay. Like,
we got it, boys.
Most likely.
Yep. That whiskey in the fire. Yep.
That's amazing.
Hell yeah.
So one of the artists I booked on my festival coming up, Four Winds, July 19th.
Shout out.
I know. I was just
I would love for you.
I will plug
That's in
some
South
things.
Dakota, I believe.
I'm not sure. So we do it in multiple places.
Okay.
So it's in Sioux Falls, it's in Rapid City, and it's in Omaha. So
It's in Rapid City.
yeah, Rapid City. That's the first one coming up. King ISO's headlining that one. So it's actually part of the next King ISO tour too. So shout out Corey Church who put all that together. But I have a guy named Little Man Jay. One thing on my festival this year is up until this year there was no nationals on it. Like it was all like regional or like whoever's killing it, and we put 50 of them together and we'd have a great weekend. This year we added Doobie, King ISO, He Is Legend as nationals. And I was like, I just need like those those not at the top of the flyers, but look, those like people that like just add a little spunk to it. So there's this guy named Lil Man Jay. A little white guy. He looks like he could be related to me and Fonz here. I mean, fucking, and a little special. And no,
Makes sense.
I don't know if you caught that, but he sounds like a mainstream rapper. He sounds like Lil Baby or what. And he went famous because he looks kind of like a dork, but he raps really fucking cool. Well, I have him booked for this, and all these young kids are excited about it. Well, he made a genre switch, kind of like Jelly Roll recently, and made this country song, and it's fucking great. Like it's like I don't know if it saved me great, but it's like so now I'm like, how do I pivot to get the country fans there?
Right.
Like that's the one genre not represented. I'm like, do I got to do?
Has he released it yet?
Yeah, I'll send it to you afterwards.
Yeah,
it's fucking good, and I posted a couple of times. My friend's like, I fucking hate that song. I was like, why? He's like, because it's everywhere. I was like, dude, your friend is the promoter of this. That's a fucking great thing. Like,
Right?
Yeah,
like
that's
the more we see this shit, if
Doing
they like
a
an
job.
artist that's on our festival, that's less marketing we have to spend. So,
Yep.
but yeah, the whole Save Me thing just reminded me. I was like, man, I kind of hope I got a Jelly Roll shit. I don't think I do. But I'm looking at this little dorky white guy, like, come on, buddy, poking him with the stick, like, fucking. I've seen this work before.
So did you guys have any kind of mentors or anything, or is it just fly by the seat of your pants and figure it out?
Yeah, it's kind of just let it go, man. Let it see what happens. Like that's how when I first met him, we started the CDA, and that was a rap battle league, and it was just one of those things where we knew a lot of really talented rappers here in town that just were and battle rap back then was big. It still is pretty big, but back then it had a huge like gust to it. Yeah. And it was cool to have, like all these people get together and, become something bigger.
Packed.
Yeah, these shows were insane.
Where were you guys holding those shows at?
The Hideout back then, it was, it was there were big shows. It was from the prelims, like the very first prelims we just had, and it was on a Sunday afternoon, and I think it was at like 4 or 3 o'clock when we were having people show up and just rap battle each other. We'd get online and be like, who would want to battle? And then we'd put this person against this person that they didn't even know each other. Yeah. And,
It's hard to battle somebody when you don't know.
You don't
them,
know
too,
them. You look up a little bit of shit, and especially in Omaha when there's not social media where you could really dig deep. There was social media, but you couldn't really dig deep into each other.
Not like today.
Yeah, and then that's how I met Justin in it. He started battle rapping with a guy that started in the very first prelims, and Justin was killing it. And plus, you were doing stuff where you were like picking up food for the homeless all the time, and like you were always out doing good things for people.
Tried to be a decent
Yeah.
person.
It's tough to find that in the scene.
That is something that we strive for here. We try to keep the people that are coming in this, to be good people, and so I'm glad that you have been, welcome to the family.
Well, it's like it's nice to have people that actually mean good for other people. You can actually see.
Well, bro, there's not too many people out there that aren't just all for themselves.
Well, like we've talked about in the local music scene, it really is tough. When he was talking about is having a roster of artists that after a while people just start getting finicky with each other instead of working together for no reason.
There's more drama with the smaller artists. There's more entitlement with the smaller artists than anyone I work with. I'll do crazy amount of work and promote the hell out of people who are, other people didn't even give a chance, and they'll turn around and, it's just, you asked about him about mentors. I'm not going to name drop, but somebody big in the music industry in the Midwest told me early on that it's the land of opportunity. And this is the business of opportunists, and it's the truth, man. Everyone's looking for that leg up. Everyone thinks their art is the coolest thing in the fucking world. Everyone thinks if they could just get in that situation. And in my world, I also happen to be in a business to where everyone thinks they can do it. Everyone thinks that they can promote a show. If they knew the guy at the venue, they'd do it themselves,
Right.
And they don't realize how much work goes into it, and it's
to actually make a good show happen. Because you see bomb shows as well as good shows.
Oh,
how
absolutely. I like to post pictures of my bad shows.
Yeah.
But one thing I do see, like, I'm in a business of bringing people to a venue, and I get treated like I'm fucking Walmart sometimes. I get treated like I'm like corporate just because I have a high frequency of shows and I do them in beautiful venues and our marketing looks good. That being said, I operate at a loss a lot of the time in order to provide that growth and to get people through the door as people are dealing with inflation. Like, we care about people. So, like, we know what it's like to go buy groceries right now. The one thing that's not really going up in price is local ticket prices. If anything, prices have gone down, and that's because we want you to be able to come and have that escape. And I'm lucky to have some people that have been doing this longer than me. I didn't break any ground with what I do, but I had a bunch of people that built that foundation before me. And if I hit them up about certain situations, they almost always have some perspective or have dealt with similar type of bullshit, So it's I love learning from the people that are doing the same thing as me and also, did it before me. So
Well, and being a good person and doing the right thing most of the time is when that's people. It takes you farther than being the piece of trash.
Dude, we've all seen the fucking. Okay, so I'm the manager for one of the biggest hip hop acts in the Midwest, and that's from our area within 500 miles that have like ever come out, especially message wise. We've all seen the documentaries. I refuse to be that fucking white guy, okay? I am not going to steal. I'm not going to do anything weird. I'm not going to jail. I'm just going to fucking do my job. Fucking try to make this guy's business make sense, be an advocate for him. And last time I did media, I did an interview with, I think it was Omaha Magazine, but I got in a little bit of trouble. Not really, because I don't give a fuck. But I said, I'm not a strange music guy. I'm a King ISO guy. And it got passed around strange music quite a bit. And I got, people hit me up about it. They weren't mad. Ain't like Tech called me and was like, hey, fuck you. Right. But everyone's like, what's he mean by that? It's like, what the fuck do you think I mean? Like, I'm his guy. Strange music didn't hire me. I wouldn't be in this building unless it was for King ISO. Just because he brought me in don't mean I'm immediately trying to gain something from that. No, this is my fucking guy. I work for him. I'm going to protect him. I'm going to try to do amazing things. Shout out to Strange Music. I love them too. I'm glad that they get to be part of what he's doing, and I'm thankful for the things that they are able to provide us for growth. But I'm a fucking King ISO guy. So I don't know why I brought that up, but it just came to my mind because those were awkward conversations, kind of.
But I mean, you 100% still support everything they're doing, but
absolutely.
of course,
Tech.
Your focus is your guy.
Yeah, I got Joey Cool on my festival. That's my fucking friend. I love these guys, but I am a King ISO guy because I think there's a difference. I think it'd be weird if I was anything but that. If I was just a strange music fan that then all of a sudden started working for one of the artists on the label, and we have people around that are super genuine that kind of followed that path, but that's just not me. I've learned more about tech since I've worked with ISO than I ever knew. And I have more respect for him than I did before too. So yeah, I'm known for being a little, maybe not too transparent, but I'm proud of the role that I play.
Yeah. Well, your Facebook is busy, buddy. I got on and checked it out, and I'm like, he's always got something.
Yeah.
You were talking about there's a shop over in Ralston you were promoting.
Yep, THC dispensary, man. Those are my friends. So I don't normally do the sponsor thing, but Frankie's a good friend of mine. I believe in his business and what he's doing. He's one of those entrepreneurs that just does not fucking take no for an answer. This guy is he's honestly a great fucking friend to have, and he's good for any community. So him opening multiple locations and wanting to get involved in live music was a blessing. He helped me pay for a lot of advertising and stuff too. So, but that being said, I would be giving him. My rule is I have to be I have to frequent a place, or I at least have to have a connection or a respect. I don't want just a check. I haven't pushed that cash out button on anything I fucking do. So that's why these are we've had 10 sponsors ever in 5 years on any shows ever. And for Four Winds, we have Hokkaido Ramen, which is another amazing restaurant and great place, and we have THC dispensaries. So yeah, it's kind of a new thing, but yeah, I try to be as genuine as possible with that, because I do got so much stuff I have to post between all the different shows coming. Because sometimes during busy season, I'll go into a weekend to where it's starting with Wednesday through Monday, I'll have 7 shows in different. So Friday night, it'll be in 3 different cities, and then we'll have a Saturday and 2 on Sunday type deal. So obviously, I can't be at everything. We have staff for that, but it's a lot, man.
I guess is summer kind of the busy season?
Spring and fall is kind of a bit busier. Summer's weird. Summer, you get out there, but
summer is usually festival season.
Yeah,
that is a big time. But usually, bands are usually out touring spring and fall.
When it's not so hot.
Yeah, they try not to hit winter as much. You'll see a lot of bands don't tour much in the winter.
See, that's when you'll see me outside. I'll be at a winter show.
Really?
Yeah, I'm a polar bear, bro.
You're crazy. We try to stay out off the road from end of November till the end of January, and then we'll hit Florida in February.
You're gonna have a hard time catching me July, August outside at a show. I'm just too fat for that. I'm getting better, but I don't do the heat well.
Man, I've gotten used to not being in crowds, and oh man, I went to a show the other night, and it was all people were. I just felt like people were standing too close to me.
Right,
it's get out of my
6 feet.
Get out of my bubble.
It's not that.
Yeah, I can't do that anymore.
I do have a little bit of an issue with crowds and being close, and
me too. To be honest, when it's not something that I'm running, I get anxiety.
It feels weird being in the crowd, doesn't it?
It's different, man. It's a different vibe. So.
It's not like hanging out backstage is any better. It's just I don't like going to concerts in general. For instance, how tough is it to get you to go to a show when it's not one of your shows and you don't have to work?
It's hard, man.
Exactly.
Well, that's kind of
timing,
if I program computers, the last thing I would do is program his computer. You know what I mean? That's what you guys live in.
Right. You know exactly what it is. It's so much. It reminds you of work, and it's tough to get out. And then if you're in the crowd, you're just there's so many people around me, and I could just be sitting at home right now, chilling, doing nothing.
And I love my excitable people. I've never been cool a day in my life, so I love when people are excited to see me, and I'm excited. I'm just as excited to see you. But man, I'll be in the crowd and just loud music talking in my ear. It's so hard because I'm
everything's just a head nut.
I'm gonna go ahead and spill the beans. By that third fist bump in a conversation, I'm out, guys. Fucking help you. And it's nothing personal. It just means it's either too loud, I got too much going on. I've got people in the crowd telling me wild shit that I don't have time for at that. Not that I don't care. It's just I don't have time at that moment.
Shit, I felt like when I was bartending, I heard the wildest shit.
Man,
When I worked at a bar, you remember downtown? I worked at the Down Under for a long time, and it was the drunkest people say the dumbest shit.
oh my god,
They really do. It's like, what the fuck did you just say to me?
I did not miss bartending.
No.
Probably learned a lot about people.
It turns. I found out it's almost like babysitting because
Fair.
people revert back to like toddlers
Yeah.
once they get drunk.
You're a captive audience too. You're
Yeah.
stuck.
Yeah,
You are stuck.
Yeah.
I won't work door anymore, hardly anymore for that reason, unless like a country show or something. The same thing. You're just there.
Yeah.
They got you. Fucking rapper comes in that I didn't reply to an email for 6 months. Fucking, all of a sudden, I got fucking beats playing him, and I love again. You know, I some of those meetings have turned into great business, so no one be offended by that. But holy fucking shit, it's like like I need to.
Please don't. Please
Yeah,
don't. Please
that
don't.
captain audience. That's why I'm picky about where I'm at.
Like you said, dude, you're the doorkeeper.
Man, the gate. I'm the
Gatekeeper,
gatekeeper. This week I got called a colonizer too. That's fun.
Yeah.
Oh,
There's lots of
shit.
issues being. Dude, I deal with a lot of drama. It's because the amount of people I also have tons of support and positivity. So I never want to be that guy that's like, oh, everyone hates me. No, I get way more attention than I fucking need or deserve any of that. But I wake up to weird shit almost every fucking day. Like I gotta smoke a couple
Keeps
blunts
it
and drink some
interesting.
coffee. Oh,
Ooh, so- all right, let's do this.
dude, someone did a diss trying to get attention from me and ISO and said King ISO nice enough diss, and it's awful, worst shit ever, right? And then I look at it, I was like, no one's liking share. I was like, this is almost funny. I didn't even turn the sound on at first, you know. And then 2 days later, I was like, I'm gonna see, make sure no one's like I know is like enjoying this, you
Yeah.
know. Again, still no likes, no shares, but there's a new one that says nice enough response.
Interesting.
So
And
they
it
responded
had
to
a bear. It had a bear in pride
That's
color,
weird.
bear in pride colors, right? And then all of a sudden it went away. And there's a guy that looked like a more special version of me rapping. Is like a white guy with a beard.
Oh.
And it's like this, and I just fucking dropped my phone. I'm like, this fucking troll. Like, I hate that I'm even giving this attention. I know who it is, and he needs fucking help. Like, but I'm just like, I was like, this guy's not a threat in any way, shape, or form. He was sending messages to people, and I was like, "Yo, you see that new nice of this?" And we're like, "No, no one cares." like I am 36 years old. Like this is like, I wish I didn't find it in here because I come from battle rap. If it was good, I'd almost enjoy it more. But it's like I know it's like I look back at this person. The last time they talked to me was like advice on their album, and I'm just like, "Oh, look!" They're like, "It's this season." No. It's summer. It's hot out. Fucking, I got shit to do. My yard's a mess. Like, leave me the fuck alone.
Just leave that shit to Kendrick and Drake.
Right.
We don't need that shit.
I had to talk to ISO about it. He's like, yeah, bro. Like, first thought, I'm gonna beat this dude up. He's like, but I talked to some family. And like, it's fine. It's whatever.
It's like, is it really worth
Yeah,
it?
because then when you respond or reply, it's like you're pulling a seat up to your table. You know,
Well,
right?
yeah.
You're giving the
attention.
You're adding that
Right.
fuel to the fire where you could just let the thing burn out.
You don't want them to think they have a
Right.
platform.
Right. And there's some things that I've had to address, and I don't want to talk about it. You know, anyone that knows me knows what it is. That sounds shady as fuck. Go look it up. I encourage you to. I did nothing. But, like, that shit's, I don't know if you've seen that, but, like, I've had people lie about, like send fake screenshots to my wife, shit like that, too. Like, do a horrible job of it. But, like, try to fucking ruin my marriage and life, too. And it's like, that's when it's like, okay, is this worth it? Answer is yeah. It's
Right.
just unfortunate that you have to deal with things like that in this business. So, and it's crazy. It's because like I'm not getting rich. You know what I mean? Me and my wife, like we're day to day, paycheck to paycheck. We're trying to, I got 4 kids, and these people they're so delusional. They think I'm like
Think you're
raking
making
in money.
Yeah.
Like and if I was rich, it would still hurt. It would still suck to have to deal with that. I have bad mental health days to where. That's why me and ISO clicked so fucking well because I've been, I don't talk about it a lot, but I went through a lot as a young man. And, who I am today, like I revert back to some of those thought processes and shit. And it's hard, but it almost balances me,
Yeah.
But yeah, there's always more positivity than negativity, and I'm so thankful to get to play the role I'm playing, and to know people. Even starting back with knowing Fonzo back in the day, and getting to watch them build that. That was fucking.
It was
man,
crazy to
yeah.
see from the ground to where it went,
Yeah.
and how it. I mean, it ended up eventually
And
dying.
that was like 10 years probably before maybe not 10. It was like many years before I fucking ever even built what I'm building now too. So I've been watching, you know what I
Yes,
mean? I've been
yeah.
learning, and I love seeing people do this. So like when I see young Fonzos or young Strawstones out there, I'm the first person to hit them up and offer them some contacts, offer them some context, like give them a perspective, and like people were putting my logo on flyers when I first started. Like I was getting to like partner with like Metro and like some of these bigger companies early on before I had the money for deposits, before I had these connections to these bands, and it made my company look bigger than what it was, and it allowed me to grow, and I ended up catching up to it. But I like to do the same thing now. Like shout out to Hybrid Promotions. It's a younger company that I'm working with here in town. We need more promoters. We need more people in that supporting role that are building platforms. So I put them. I already do Mayflowers every year, which is like this weekly series. I put them on that. I put them on a couple other shows. Shared profits with them. That way they can grow and kind of like do what people had to help us out too.
Goes back to
Once
that
upon a
mentor
time.
question.
Yeah, if it
earlier.
wasn't-
You're
yeah.
acting as that mentor.
Dude, I am Uncle Strawstone at this point. I'm getting older. I'm happy to play that role. I'm not, I love that I get the attention I get as a 36-year-old chubby white guy. I'm thankful to have like the fucking reach I have on social media. But one of my favorite things in the world is going to be moving towards the background and allow, on something like this, I'd love to send, one of the younger artists in to talk about what we do and represent nice enough in that way. I don't need to be the mouthpiece anymore, So that's kind of where I'm heading with it. Is to where
it shows the maturity of a brand.
Yeah, learning how to delegate is not easy, but it's it's we have a good team around us now, and it's nice when that starts happening. So
Shit, you mentioned having Dave Campbell on your side.
Yeah.
Like that dude is such a good dude.
Man.
He's like I love that dude. When we were doing the digital sick kid stuff,
Mhm.
he was one of the first people to be like, I want to do a show with you guys, and
Yeah.
like had us play his New Music Mondays,
Mhm.
and that was such a good time.
he's
and
such a rad human being.
Yeah,
He is. I call ISO underrated earlier. Those two really like each other a lot, which makes me happy because they're both two of my favorite people. But man, he's just rock fucking solid. 1% is so lucky to have a Dave Campbell working full time for them. It's
Dave worked his ass off doing his own shows, his own production company for so long.
Mhm.
This dude, I mean, he worked so hard. He did his Great American Metal Barbecue,
which is actually coming up on the 29th of this month. Let me plug it.
Yeah,
plug someone else's show. Tale Untold's on that. It's going to be sick. It's in the waiting room.
We're all about let's promote local anybody.
Yeah.
Like as long as they're a decent human being.
Yeah.
Let's promote. I don't shout them out, bro.
You know what's crazy? This is how regular fucking conversations go for me too. I'll stop what I'm doing to be like, know who's doing something fucking cool? This guy.
by the
He's
way.
awesome.
No,
it's you got to because I know what good can happen from those conversations behind closed doors. Those good things said behind closed doors are always going to do a lot more for people than harm you can do with that negative fucking chatty Cathy shit.
Yeah.
So I don't partake in that. I would rather just pump up my people, and it helps that. I mean, again, that show, that series, and that man is amazing.
yeah,
So,
he worked his ass off, and now with him being with 1%, I mean, Mark's a good dude too.
yeah,
Mark really puts it, like I was saying, I think you and I were talking about it, about Mark. Yeah, how that dude is literally, if it wasn't for him, a lot of music would be the way it is here in Omaha. Yeah, he's worked his ass off.
when I see people talk shit about 1%, I know that it's a problem that they created.
Yeah.
Because if you do good business, like you are gonna get to do what you want with them. They're gonna provide opportunities. Like Mark used to stand outside of fucking Sokol and hand out flyers for his shows when 1% didn't have any buildings. These guys literally like come from like the very beginning of this scene. So
And now for him to have the venues and the access to all the shows that he has, he puts on some of the greatest shows here in town, and it's awesome to have him to be able to do that. Like
Yeah.
he's one of the greatest promoters Omaha has, and for people like you said, for people to talk shit on 1%, it's ridiculous because there's no reason for it.
They bought the Sokol, invested so much money into it, turned into the Admiral, and then brought Bright Eyes back for 2 nights. I mean, that was cool as fuck. You know, they do a lot of cool shit for Omaha, and you know, I'm not going to talk shit about Live Nation. I swear, but yeah, no, it's like if you're going to support something out there, yeah, the Steelhouse is beautiful. They're going to bring a lot of shows that are, you know, I'm not mad at you if you go to a show. Spend your money how you want. But when you go to the Waiting Room, Reverb, Admiral, Astro, just know that you're supporting real people. You're not supporting somebody with like a Saudi-backed fucking investment.
Yeah,
fund.
but it's not a national conglomerate that sucks the soul out of music.
Yeah,
because that's literally Live Nation.
Right. And they're getting busted for it. You know, I don't know what that's
Yeah.
going to mean for everyone, but it's
hopefully more money for y'all,
Yeah.
like the performers and the people that take care
dude,
of them.
they got so much fucking money, and they gouge people so hard that like their tactics are literally cutthroat Walmart style. Like what they did last year, like not to delve too far into it, is they put out press that they're giving everybody they book. So bands all the way through the supporting lineup, an extra $1,500 per show for the rest of the year. Amazing, right? That's awesome. No more merch cuts. Merch cuts need to go away. Agents need to quit negotiating that in. We know how that ends up fucking happening.
always happens.
Yeah, and but they did that, and it looks great. But at the end of the day, how does an independent promoter or venue fucking compete with that at all? An extra 15. There's bands. I had friends that were supporting acts on Live Nation tours that were getting 500 a night, and their pay went to 2,000 because they got 1,500 a night, and they're like, "Yeah, man, I know they're evil, but that was kind of fucking awesome." And I'm like, I fucking agree. Goddamn, what a fucking tactic! If you have billions of dollars, like fucking.
And they also they are just charging people outrageous amounts for tickets.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, it's a monopoly. So what they did is they okay, what will we be giving away of our gross revenue in order to do this? Well, think of how big the shows they do. That's probably literally like 1% or 2%. Okay, let's bump these fees up 1%, 2%. We look like great people, and we just literally pass it off onto the fans that have to go through our system. So fuck you, Live Nation. I am going to talk shit.
Yeah, they're assholes. They deserve
They just tune in real quick.
it.
Well,
Sorry you feel that way. Fucking.
Well, this is such a great conversation, but we're like already an hour and 7 minutes, and
I was going to say, by the way, though, for the Live Nation thing, quick, they don't book us anyway, so fuck them.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to book ISO on something, you know, we'll talk to you.
But if you guys got any socials or any shows, festivals, anything you want to shout out, get it in.
I mean, I don't really have much going on.
Yeah.
I'm just, it's fun to be here with you guys.
Yeah.
Just the Soulless Cuban.
Yeah, I really don't have anything. I mean, I've been out touring with Smile. If you want, check that band out. They are amazing. Smile Empty Soul does do a lot of hard work. They've been independently doing it for over 20 years now. So, you know, check them out. They got vinyl for sale. They got a website. They just came out. They're coming out with a new album. So, yeah,
Nice.
check them out.
Let me see if I remember everything. No Stevie Stone shows. I just found that out before. So in July, we have the Four Winds Fest, the 19th through the 21st. That's at the Waiting Room in the Reverb Lounge. It's 3 days, 2 stages, like 50 local and regional artists, and then we have like 8 nationals this year. He is legendary band with From This Day Forward. Lots. I'm gonna fuck that up. But Doobie's coming. We got Lardy B, Lil Man J, King ISO, C10's on it. It's going to be a great festival. Passes are $50 for the weekend, $25 per day. What else do we have coming up? We got King ISO coming to the Bourbon Theater in Lincoln. We start the Summer Ildred Tour there for 9 days, starting the 20th of June. So come check us out there. Midwest Family Night, local Juggalo Appreciation Show, fucking the 21st, whoop, whoop, at Maloney's Live. If you see that poster, you will fucking smile. It has Trump and Joe Biden and Juggalo face paint.
I gotta look it up.
I got to get the Caitlin Clark alternative flyer done today for that last minute promo push. We do have Hollow Animal on the 21st. I'm literally missing probably 80% of these shows, but that's okay. Check out Nice Enough Entertainment on Facebook, Nice Enough Straw on Instagram, and even if it's not a nice enough show, go support these local shows, local businesses, and keep the Midwest strong.
Hell yeah.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah,
This was
definitely
fun.
appreciate you having me on that.
Yeah.
Good
Well,
times. Appreciate you guys.
making the time. Now we're gonna go eat ourselves some filet and
Let's go.
some twice baked potatoes.
Oh, that light.
Yeah. Hey, Steve, man, shout out. We're gonna mute this for a second. Steve, thanks for sponsoring the episode, bro. Steve at Nissan of Omaha. Go check him out for your car. Have a good day, fellas.
Good shit.